Now, coming off of that beautiful victory against the Houston Texans, winning 31-2, we got a lot of updates, especially in regards to the playoffs that you're going to love, because this should make you that much more excited for the Baltimore Ravens postseason. Team, keep it clean. Let's get into it. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn them notifications on, and leave a like on the video because it'd be helping out the channel a ton. Team, keep it clean. I love y'all. Let's get into it. So, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, they took care of business on December 25th against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they whooped up on them big time, and that helped us out. That propelled the Baltimore Ravens to get into that number 3 spot, to be in the lead in the AFC North. And then on top of that, the Baltimore Ravens, they took care of their own business. So that made it official to where they control their own AFC North destiny. And all the Baltimore Ravens need to do to officially win the AFC North is beat either Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who's looking like it should be him, or it could be a rematch against Jameis Winston. But the Baltimore Ravens they don't need any help. They don't need the Steelers to do anything. All the Baltimore Ravens need to do, win the game against the Browns, and they get the AFC North. It's all there, so they will get a home playoff game at the crib. That will be a beautiful thing for the Baltimore Ravens to have, especially this year. But on top of that, there's another opportunity for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, there's a much smaller chance that this happens, but the number 2 seed is not all the way ruled out. Reason being, because right now the Bills sit at that number 2 seed. But the Baltimore Ravens, they could possibly, it's very minimal chance that it happens, because the Bills' next 2 opponents are the Jets and the Patriots. But if the Bills were to lose out, then the Ravens could actually climb to that number 2 seed. Now, I don't expect that to happen. So with the Bills, the only possible way that could happen is if the Bills rested their starters, or if their starters just sucked in those 2 games and the Jets and the Patriots just went crazy on the Bills. I don't expect that to happen, though. And the Bills are not going to rest their starters. You know, Josh Allen, he's trying to play for that MVP. He's trying to show the world, like, hey, y'all forgot about me. Don't forget about me. Don't worry about Lamar Jackson. I still want the MVP. His offensive line messed around and got him the MVP chain and whatnot. I'm like, oh, y'all really better hold, boy. If he don't get MVP, if Josh Allen don't get it, and his offensive line, and they got him that chain, oh. I hope Lamar goes crazy on them Browns in the last week of the season. But anyway, it doesn't stop there, because if you look at the current playoff picture right here, right now, what do all of the teams currently in the playoffs have in common? Well, the Baltimore Ravens have played every last one of them, and they beat the Steelers. Obviously, Steelers also beat them, but they also beat the Chargers. They also beat the Broncos. They also beat the Texans. They also beat the Bills. And guess what? When you think about it, obviously they lost to the Chiefs, but when you think about it, in the losses that they got to the Steelers and Chiefs, it's just they're one play away from winning those games. But in the wins against every single one of these other opponents, including the Steelers, when they beat up on them, the Baltimore Ravens, they won, and the games weren't even close. Obviously just whooped up on the Texans a couple of days ago, but against the Bills, they beat them, 35-10? They beat the Steelers by 17 points the other day, beat up on the Chargers, whooped up on the Broncos. So this should give you even more confidence for the Baltimore Ravens heading into the playoffs. And then you look at some of the teams that are sort of on the fringe of possibly making the playoffs. They would obviously need some help, that being the Colts, the Dolphins, and the Bengals. With the Bengals, they're a scary team now. If they are to make the playoffs, they are a scary team, because we know with the Baltimore Ravens, those games, those could have been decided, and the games could have been changed by one more play going the opposite direction. But one thing I will say, both of those Bengals games, they came when the Baltimore Ravens defense was not playing how it is right now. So that's something to consider. Even you think about the Kansas City Chiefs game. Now, I think the defense, they did their thing in that game overall. It was not their best game, but it certainly wasn't even close to being their worst. But this Baltimore Ravens team, like, you have all the reason in the world to be super confident in them right now. Another reason, too, and again, I keep having to bring this up, because Kyle Hamilton said it best himself when he was on the Punchline podcast. He said that this team this year, like the team last year that went 13-4, really 13-3, because a lot of the starters didn't play in that last game, but still 13-4 technically. But they had been just steamrolling teams. They had been dog-walking teams. They had just been running through everybody like crazy. But this year, these Baltimore Ravens, I mean, they were doing that here and there, but it wasn't the same and not even close to last year. But this team right here, right now, they are a lot more battle-tested than the Baltimore Ravens of last year. Did last year's team have a better roster? I think so. Did last year's team have a better offense? It's debatable, but no, probably not. And it's crazy because they had a better roster, in my opinion. Did they have a better defense? Well, yeah, but the defense, the way that they playing right now, like they something serious, man. But this Baltimore Ravens squad right now, they have a different Lamar Jackson. They have a much different Lamar Jackson from last season. They have an even better version of Lamar. And it's crazy when you think about just how great of a player Lamar Jackson is and everything that he's been doing. He has the chance to set the record. So he would obviously break a bunch of records, but he has a chance to set the record for the highest passer rating in an entire season. We know Lamar Jackson's numbers are crazy right now. He has the chance to win yet another MVP. We'll see how these last couple of games shake out. We'll see what Josh Allen does this week against the Jets. Well, Lamar, he got so many opportunities that are right in front of him. This Baltimore Ravens team got so many opportunities that are right in front of him. But let's talk about the opportunity that just passed him. Well, it didn't pass them because they took it. And that was the opportunity to possibly win 3 games in 11 days. And that's a lot, man. 2 of them being away games, too. That's a lot of work, no matter what teams you playing, because that's a grind right there. That's a very, very tough grind. To play 3 games in 11 days, it's like, woo. And I remember early on when the schedule first came out, I remember some Baltimore Ravens players, they was like, really? What's that about? But they say, you know what? We ain't got to do all that talking. We just got to handle our business, take care of it, and then keep it moving. And that's exactly what they did. And get this. On top of them winning all 3 games in 11 days, and now they get an 11-day break, but on top of them winning all 3 games, they're healthy. They are a pretty healthy squad. Yeah, some guys nicked up, banged up here, but they are a very healthy squad. And they should be getting guys back like a Justice Hill, who is definitely an impact player. He's been great for the Baltimore Ravens this season. They should be getting guys back like a Nelson Aguilar, who's been pretty efficient for the Baltimore Ravens this season. And guys can just keep on getting healthier, and they can have this 11 days to rest up, get ready for the Browns, and then, boom, you already know what you got to do. And if you take care of business against the Browns, then you'll be playing at the crib. Now, one thing that we also got to acknowledge is that if you play, obviously, any team that you go up against, you got to be prepared. But if you play 3 games in 11 days, you got to be extra prepared. It got to be on a whole nother level. But who takes care of the preparation? Who gets these teams ready? Well, we got to give a special shout out, a huge shout out to the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff. We got to. Offensive coordinator Todd Monken, he been doing his thing. You see the offense has been going crazy. Defensive coordinator Zach Orr, who we had a lot of conversations about Zach Orr this season. We certainly did, but the Baltimore Ravens defense has had such a huge turnaround. But also head coach John Harbaugh. And also special teams coach too, because head coach with John Harbaugh and special teams coach, it goes hand in hand. But no, give the special teams coaches credit. But you think about like this team, think about the issues that they had. Think about how this season started and how far these Baltimore Ravens have come. Obviously, with the defense, they were terrible, giving up 1 million passing yards a game. They got that thing turned around. With Justin Tucker, he was terrible. But John Harbaugh, no, we're going to stick with him. We ain't going to bring in no competition. What? All right, whatever. Hope that it works. And look at what happened. With this team, with even the offense had a few games here and there where they were like, hey, who are these guys and what's happening? Did they forget how to play or something? but they've obviously been able, for the most part this season, to maintain a level of consistency. So give a huge shout out to the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff, because they have been doing their part as well. And you put all of that together, especially at the time when you put it together, it's time, man. It just makes so much sense that the Baltimore Ravens this year, they finished the job. Now we reach my favorite part of these videos, where we get to feature your questions. If you would like to take part in it, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. If you're a Team Keep It Clean patron or like to join the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids, and you can send a DM directly on Patreon. Or if you want to send it in a different type of way, you can send it directly to our P.O. Box. The address is down below in the description. Team Keep It Clean. I guess today was just Team Keep It Clean Patron Day, because all in the same day, a bunch of patrons just sent in a bunch of questions. So let's get into it. Before we do, though, we got to give a special shout out to the newest Team Keep It Clean patron, Campbell. Campbell, I appreciate you. And Campbell said, you know what? I'm going to start us off the right way, because Campbell sent in a question. He said, is Lamar the most skilled QB ever? Ever? Yeah, he is. And that's not a hot take. That's not something crazy to say. That's not some, whoa, man, you're just saying that because you're Ravens. No, you think, is he the most skilled QB ever? Lamar can make every single throw, but Lamar could also make every single run as well. He does so many things that so many other quarterbacks just, they can't do. He has the ability. He got the smarts. He's like that. But anyway, continuing, he said, hey, Ingraven, hope your family had a blessed day. I'm from Australia, so there are not a lot of people to talk about football, let alone the Baltimore Ravens. I found your channel when the Lamar contract drama started, and I'm thankful that you have given me a voice to listen to about the Ravens. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. He said, my question is, if Lamar is the most skilled QB to ever play the game, obviously he's the most skilled rushing QB, especially now with the record, but he has also made himself known as a top 5 passer currently. And not to mention the passer rating record that he's about to break. Oh, see, we were just talking about that a little bit ago. He said, thanks for reading this question, and I'm so grateful for your channel and the Team Keep It Clean community. You helped me stop my foul mouthing, and I thank you. Hope you and your family keep getting blessed by God. That was really nice, man. I don't know why that touched me the way that it did, but I appreciate this a lot, Campbell. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate this. I appreciate the question, but I appreciate your appreciation for the channel too. I appreciate you sharing a positive impact that this channel had on you. And I'm very, very grateful for you. So thank you. Next question came from another Team Keep It Clean patron, my guy Justin. He said, this could be the year. Well, you should change that to this will be the year. He said, also, if Lamar doesn't win MVP over Josh Allen, they only gave it to Josh Allen out of pity. It is what it is, man. He said, only KC and the Ravens have played all the teams in the current playoff spots as of December 26th. And check out the numbers. He said the Chiefs, they went 6-1 against the playoff teams, and they put up 156 points, and they gave up 120 points. The Baltimore Ravens, they went 5-2 against the current playoff teams. He said they put up 207 points, and they only gave up 107 points. So big difference between the Chiefs there. The Steelers, they went 3-2. The Chargers, they went 2-4. The Bills went 1-2. The Texans went 1-2, and the Broncos, they went 0-5. So that's looking real, real good for the Baltimore Ravens. And I appreciate you bringing up those numbers, because, yeah, this is exactly what we talked about earlier, but we didn't have those numbers to make us even more confident that the Baltimore Ravens are going to take care of business this postseason. Next question came from my guy Derek. He said, hey, Ingraven, quick question. Do you think Lamar Jackson is magical? Oh, see, and that was all he put. And Lamar Jackson, he's amazing, man. He's amazing. He's special, as we all know. And us as Ravens fans, we are extremely spoiled to have him as our quarterback. Next question came from my guy Nova. He said, kudos, QBs in the future. Hey, Ingraven, it's Nova here again with some thoughts after these past 3 games, and I have some random questions for you, and would love to hear your thoughts. Appreciate the channel and all you and Team Keep It Clean family do, and hope you and the fam have enjoyed your days. But before those 3 random questions, I got to talk about these 3 games which have taken place since my rants that I sent. So, versus the Giants, I expected a clobbering to be delivered. I was unsure about the Steelers and expected a close win against the Texans. Of course, speaking after the Eagles lost. So these past few games have been pleasant surprises for me as a Ravens fan, and I got to give praise when they show up. Oh, and by the way, I was at the Steelers game as an early gift and love to see Lamar get them at home with the crowd backing up our team. Oh, I'm glad you got to go to that game, because that was a real special one, man. And that was a real personal one, too. He said, overall, the bounce back has been exciting and fulfilling to watch. The coaching has been so much better, in my opinion, from both Hobbs and the coordinators. But see, this is what I'm talking about. With Team Keep It Clean, we be on the same page, and we don't even realize, man. We were just talking about this, giving a shout out to all the coaching staff early on in this video. And look what my guy Nova is doing. Same thing, man. He said, both Hobbs and the coordinators, well, we need to keep this up and we'll have that Lombardi for sure. Tucker has been lights out and you can see the adjustments being made mid-game and they are paying off. We have other guys who haven't had as much burn this season getting in the mix like Tez, Keaton, Miller, and even Ali. The Sims addition already looks brilliant for him as a returner for punts, so maybe we don't have to drive down an extra 10 to 20 yards per possession, which is also appreciated. It is. Lamar is taking what they give him and using his running ability, and this team is breaking records, it seems, every week these past few games. So kudos to the team's brass and the players for locking in and taking care of business regardless of who it is that we play. Had to make sure I shouted them out. That's real right there. He also said, so my two random questions. For one, I want to ask, what's your take on the 2018 QB draft class and how much better this class has been? We know Lamar and Josh are the standouts and Rosen was a bust, but Baker and Sam's careers look like they were dead, and this year we have seen them both put on for their respective teams to the point you can make cases they are both top 10 quarterbacks this year. Yeah, that's true. And it's been nice to see that turnaround, because I thought Sam Darnold went to the Jets. It looked like his career was a wrap. Looked like that was it. Baker Mayfield with the Browns, he was interesting. It didn't look like his career was dead in the water, but it was just a lot of up and down. But he left. He went to what? I think he went to the Rams first, right? And then he ended up going to the Bucks. And with the Bucks, I mean, you look at those weapons. Even though he had a lot of weapons with the Cleveland Browns too. But with the Bucks, I guess a more stable organization, especially with them having won a Super Bowl a lot more recently, then they know how to handle business. So Baker Mayfield, he been doing his thing. And obviously Sam Darnold, he went from the Jets. I think he went to the 49ers for a little bit. And then he ended up going to the Vikings. And he's just going as a bridge because they drafted J.J. McCarthy. And J.J. McCarthy unfortunately got hurt. Sam Darnold can't, and he's been killing it ever since, man. He said, but in my opinion, the class that is top three, along with the class of 2004, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, and Phillip Rivers, and the class of 1983, Jim Kelly, Dan Marino, and John Elway. Your thoughts? Oh, putting it up with those. I mean, hey, you can put it up with those, because Eli Manning, obviously, two-time Super Bowl winner. Roethlisberger, he got Super Bowls. Phillip Rivers, he ain't got no Super Bowls, but he got a lot of records and whatnot. Jim Kelly from Buffalo, Dan Marino, legendary quarterbacks with the Bills, and then Dan Marino with the Dolphins, and John Elway, of course, all them Super Bowls with the Broncos. So yeah, it was nice too. He said, my second question is this: after we win a Super Bowl, we will be back in off-season mode. So I started thinking about three of our biggest needs will be a pass rusher, wide receiver, and secondary, cornerback or safety. So I have my dream acquisition and the realistic acquisition. So let me know what you think, and also what would be your dream and realistic additions. Dream would be Max Crosby. And if not Max Crosby, then Myles Garrett. Because I know Myles Garrett, he already been putting it out there like, look, I don't want to be on no Browns team no more. I'm tired of rebuilding. I don't want to be here. He pretty much said that. He ain't say officially I don't want to be here, but you can read between the lines with that one. Realistic additions, draft picks. But I don't know, because I can't think of who's going to be a free agent off the top of my head. Well, I can tell you realistic not releases, but realistic losses. I think Brandon Stevens is going for sure. I don't think there's any possibility that the Baltimore Ravens re-sign him at all. But yeah, that's only one. Oh, and Marcus Williams too. I think he's definitely going to be going as well. He said, "Oh, I didn't even see that you put your dream." Oh, I'm tripping. He said, pass rusher dream, Myles Garrett. He said, I don't think I need to explain why, but someone in another video pointed out that we are the only team without a big name pass rusher. How sweet it would be not only to acquire one, but to get one from our division foe, making us stronger and them weaker. Yeah, that would be great. Oh, he said realistic, Chase Young. Yeah, you're right. That is very realistic. He said, so because he will be a free agent and it's a good chance Saints clean house this offseason, I can see EDC going after the Maryland native and bringing him on a one-year deal similar to what we gave Jadeveon Clowney, but his way of saying we have food at home unless you have McDonald's money, LOL. Calais could also have been an option, but only if he returns for another season. Yeah, but so if the Dolphins, once they finally officially get out of the playoffs, they could release him and then we could pick him up so he could retire a Super Bowl champion, Calais Campbell. Wide receiver dream. Ooh, he said DK Metcalf. Yeah. I agree. He said, you've been on this one for years, so why not dream of getting another big body guy for Lamar to target and who can also go deep if he needs to? And after this year, it's clear that JSN has overtaken the number one wide receiver role in Seattle, so maybe McDonald does us a solid. I would love that. I would love that. And I know they're going to be Ravens fans that'll be like, oh, no, we good with Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers. And, hey, they doing their thing, which I love and appreciate. But you can get Lamar that big body wide receiver that he been begging for, that he would love. Oh man, and I remember he specifically tweeted to DK Metcalf some years ago, like, hey, he said, you one of them guys. He said, we already got some guys, but you one of them guys too. Come through. Anyway, he said, realistic would be DeAndre Hopkins. He's basically there for decoration now that the Chiefs are getting healthy, and after we win the chip, he's going to want to come on board with the winning squad. He's also older. He said he's also old enough to be considered by EDC, and he has the hands to rely on even when we have our annual game when everyone gets the drop seats. He's his secondary dream, Buda Baker. Oh, well, no, that's over now because he signed a contract extension like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. He said, while Javon Holland and Hufanga from the 49ers would have made this list, they, like Marcus Williams, are often injured, and I hope to not trade for an often injured safety, or not trade an often injured safety for a new one. But Buda has been lights out this year and always been consistent, so with him in the back end, it adds another savvy vet to free Kyle to be where he needs to be. Well, yeah, that's definitely a dream because, yeah, in reality, he already signed his contract extension with Arizona. He said, realistic, Andre Cisco. I'm not familiar with him. He said, we know money is put on this defense, and Cisco is a pretty good safety on the horrible Jacksonville Jaguars, so I can see him being let go in order to make room for Trevor's contract kicking in. And it still accomplishes freeing up Kyle, and he has been healthy. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I would leave Kyle as is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I can see what you're saying, too. You would want somebody back there so Kyle wouldn't have to just be back there. And he could just be more of a joker, more of somebody just doing so many different things. So I can see where you're going with that. He said, O-line is also an issue, but I feel as if we could address that in the draft, so I didn't include them in this. Thanks again, as always, for all you do for us and giving us the outlet to give our opinions a voice. Hey, appreciate you, Nova. Next question came from another team. Keep it clean, patient, my guy. Omar, he said, Ingraven, hope everything is going well for you. Everything is going pretty good, man. I appreciate that. He said, what an impressive, strictly business approach to this Ravens win over the Texans. This team knows what it's playing for, and it shows on the field. Got to give Coach Harbaugh and his staff credit for instilling that mindset. Look at that. I told you, team, keep it clean. We be on the same page, man. We really do. He said, shout out to Tyler Linderbaum. Yeah, shout out to Linda Flender. That dude been holding it down. He said he really stood out while I was watching the game. On a lot of the big runs between the tackles, he either opened the initial lane or got to the second level early enough for Derrick Henry to make his cut. His effort really pops off the screen, especially when you see him 10 to 20 yards downfield looking for someone to block. Defensive backs are making a lot of business. He said they're making a lot of business decisions when they see that kind of size and power coming their way. Linderbaum is a true tone setter. Oh, yeah, we love Linda Flint over here, man. Shout out to Tyler Linderbaum. He said, on the first defensive possession of the third quarter, Malik Harrison completely bucked Joe Mixon on a blitz. Oh, yeah, that's when he just, pow, knocked him down. He went, whoa, Malik, hold on, buddy. He said, forcing C.J. Stroud out of the pocket. Matabike didn't finish the play with a clean, solid hit on Stroud. That type of physicality is imposing, and it affects teams. On the very next play, Stroud threw the pick to Kyle Hamilton. Boom. Football is just it just connects. Everything connects, man. Everything that you do matters so much. Anyway, he said Zach Orr has this defense playing physical and fast. That's true, and that's exactly what he said he wanted to do. That's exactly what he said he wanted to do. I remember at his I think it was his first press conference. He said he wanted the defense to be physical and fast. And maybe that's why Marcus Williams got benched, because he wasn't being physical or not playing fast enough. So there's something to think about, man. I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot about that. He said at this moment, the Ravens are leading the league in sacks. Really? Oh, he said that might change after the weekend's games, but we'll take it for now. I didn't know that. That's crazy. He said, my question to you is, do you think Jordan Stout will ever take over full-time kickoff duties? I noticed Justin Tucker started the game, but Stout came in later. That's a good question. Full-time kickoff duties? No. I think again, initially I thought they were maybe saving Justin Tucker's leg, just trying to or just let his leg rest or whatnot. I didn't realize he was in the kickoff duties later on. Because I do remember, no, he was in kickoff duties, and it was in who did we play last week? In the Texans game, I noticed Justin Tucker was doing the kickoff duties. But then I did see the previous game. Who was it? The Steelers we played last week? Jordan Stout was doing it then. So I don't know what's up with that. But I don't think it's going to be a full time. I think they just tinkering with it for this year. But next year, who knows what happens with Justin Tucker. Maybe Justin Tucker will be like, you know what? We won a Super Bowl. I'm good. I came in here 12 years ago, winning the Super Bowl, and I'm leaving 12 years later, winning the Super Bowl. So he said, I'm about to go out like Ray Lewis. So that'll be that, and that would be such a cool story too. You literally your rookie year, your first year in the NFL, you win a Super Bowl, and then your last year in the NFL, you win a Super Bowl, all with the same team too. That'd be crazy, with the same team, same head coach, all that good stuff. But anyway, he said, as always, I appreciate your insight, my brother. No, I appreciate yours. Next question came from another Team Keep It Clean page. I told you all these questions in this episode, they've been from Team Keep It Clean pages. Next one came from Lexus. Say, hello, Ingraven. What's up, Lex? Said, I hope all is well with you and your family. Also, I hope that Steelers L started your day great, and also the Ravens win. Oh yeah, every time. Every time. I love seeing it. But anyway, he said, put the bow on the present. This is my first question after years of watching. I appreciate you sending one in. Said, do you think we will see much play from the starters in the game versus the Browns? Yes, I do. Because they need the game. They need the game to win the AFC North. So, yeah, for sure. They definitely will. Now, I wonder how the schedule is going to be. I wonder if they're going to put this Ravens-Browns game on Saturday or on Sunday. So, we'll see. But anyway, said, I would like to see the Ravens use this game to get players like Tez Walker and Keith Mitchell going. With playoffs coming, it's all hands on deck. Show up and show out. And just like any team playing the Ravens in the postseason, I'm out. That's what we love to hear. And that's true. But yeah, the starters are going to have to play in this game because this is a must-win game for the Baltimore Ravens. Not to get into the playoffs, but to get the home playoff game. Next question came from another Team Keep It Clean patient, my guy Raj. He said, hey, Ingraven, I hope all is well with you and your loved ones, and that your day is wonderful. Appreciate it, Raj. He said, with a dominating performance by all three legs of the Ravens team, even though the Ravens were generous enough to give the gift of 2 points to the Texans. He said, is this still considered a shutout because the Texans didn't get a single touchdown or field goal all game? Thank you for all you do and for Team Keep It Clean, fam. Hey, appreciate that, man. Thank you. It's not technically a shutout because the Baltimore Ravens as a team did not shut the Texans out completely from scoring, but it is important that, again, context is everything. The defense, they did not allow a single point. So the defense, they technically pitched a shutout, but the team did not pitch a shutout. Next question came from another Team Keep It Clean patron, my guy Zaga. He said, Grand Rising, my friend, we got the win. I live in Houston, and these Texans fans were just so sure that they were going to win this game. Oh, they were? Now, I ain't mad at that at all. Like, have some confidence and faith in your team and whatnot. I'm cool with it, but I just, man, I get it, like Texans, I get how it could be. When you think about your team, you think about the positive and whatnot. But if I was a Texans fan, I feel like I'll probably be scared for this game. Seeing what the Baltimore Ravens just did the previous week to the Pittsburgh Steelers. First thing what they did 2 weeks ago to the Giants, and then that would be like, oh, that was the Giants. Okay, that's expected. But then seeing what they did to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would say, ooh, uh-oh. And then knowing how C.J. Stroud has been against the Texans, yeah, that was just 1 year and it was 2 games, but he didn't score a single touchdown. But yeah, so anyway, but I get it. It's all good. He said, oh yeah, and I won some Baltimore Ravens car flags. I can't wait till he comes back from vacation. Till who comes back from vacation? What you mean? But anyway, he also said they are chanting MVP in the stadium. I love how MV3 and King Henry are locked in on their diets to keep it right to win that Super Bowl. Oh yeah, both of them said, no, we ain't touching that cake. I think it was more so though because they ain't no hands on it and whatnot. You know, with us, we don't just eat food from just anybody.